This episode of the pWoCast is brought to you by Bing. Do you hate yourself? Do you live every day like it is the worst day possible? Do you just want to see the world burn? Or maybe you just want to annoy one of those pesky relatives? Well, Bing is the solution for you. Bing is an online search engine that is similar to Google, but yet significantly worse in every way. You can use Bing if you wanna, I don't know, if you wanna like search something, I don't know, just use Google. Bing, just use Google. Haha, funny fake ad, Derrick. That was really good. pWo social media links are in the description.
I'm doing 10 to 4 tomorrow.
Oh, nice, nice. Though I like 9 to 4 instead of 9 to 5 because like 4, it's still, even though it's the time you're supposed to get out, it feels like you're getting out early.
But 9 to 5 just feels right because of Dolly Parton's song.
That's very true. Dolly Parton has made 9 to 5 the official.
Have you seen the recent ads where she does 5 to 9 because
Yes.
of working conditions now?
Yeah. What's it for again? What's that commercial for?
I don't remember.
See, a good commercial is one you'll remember. A great commercial is one where you'll remember, and then you'll also remember what the commercial is for.
Exactly. The problem with ads nowadays is that the commercial has nothing to do with the brand themselves, so you have no shot of remembering who did it.
No, unless it's like super absurd, like Mountain Dew.
Or Old Spice.
Yeah, that's true.
And most things like you watch now with ads, like you can just skip like on YouTube and stuff. Like I can't tell you a commercial that's aired other than maybe a Super Bowl commercial in the past 5 years.
I can name one commercial that has stuck with me throughout all of time, and that is the Puppy Monkey Baby commercial.
Oh my.
You've seen it, right?
Yes, I haven't thought about this in probably 5 years.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my god. So it was, what Super Bowl was it? The one where the Patriots like destroyed the Falcons? It was like an important Super Bowl too. It was a Super Bowl commercial and it was a Mountain Dew commercial. And just picture what you would think a puppy monkey baby would look like. And it is exactly what it sounds like.
All right, I'll have to look into it.
And isn't it just walking around and there's a voiceover in the back just going,
Happy monkey baby. Happy monkey baby. Happy monkey baby.
And there's just a beat.
Shit, drop my phone.
Oh my god. And it has a rattle. It's shaking a rattle. That brings it over the top.
Oh, yeah. By the way, welcome to the pWoCast.
Yes.
I just pressed record in the middle of our conversations, like how our podcast used to always start.
Yeah, we always used to jump in and just hit record in the middle of whatever we were saying. So it's good to get back to our roots.
We have a guest today. This is Joel, everybody, member of the pWo.
Hi, it's me. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Joel and I are both gay together.
Wow. Can't do this on the other one. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, specifically just avoid as straights only. I'm kidding. That would be very odd considering that I am one of the two main people.
It would be very off-brand.
It'd be very off-brand. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be the most off-brand thing I think I could possibly do.
Yes, the pWo is definitely a non-homophobic entity in the wrestling world.
I think actually the most off-brand thing you could do is like talk about sports other than like wrestling, like in detail. Like we just did mention a Super Bowl commercial, but like in detail, being like, "Yo, like that Celtics game." I mean, the Celtics aren't even on, but like, yeah, the Celtics aren't even on. I'm surprised I even knew that. But or like something like that. I don't know.
Actually, fun fact is, if you showed me the name of a baseball player from 2005, I can accurately tell you if they played for the Yankees or not. I can't tell you off the top of my head, but I can recognize if I'm like, oh yeah, Johnny Damon, he played for the Yankees in 05.
Yeah, like Jason Giambi.
Exactly, Jason Giambi. He hit a grand slam right over my head in Yankee Stadium.
Oh, he had a great card in the video game this year that they released for baseball.
Is he still in the video games?
No, they just do a lot of flashback cards. I would just
Gotcha.
say if anyone wants to get into sports games, baseball is the dying sport, but the people that make the baseball video game are so much better than EA Sports.
Who makes the game? Is it still the show?
Yes, so it's still San Diego Studios that makes it, but
Gotcha.
they actually listen to their fans because so one
Crazy.
small example. Sorry, one small example is that they made a limited time card that was a 99 overall for a week because some guy got called up to the MLB, so they're like for a week we'll make his card a 99. And
Right.
so they did this and the card went back down to 91 and everyone said they wanted a permanent 99 version of the card. So what they did was the next program that came out, they made the 99 version one of the cards of the
Nice.
program. And it's like EA would never listen to their
Yeah.
fans like that.
EA would charge like $20 for it.
No, EA would charge you $20 for a pack where you don't even pull them.
Right. They'd charge you $20 for a chance to get it.
Be like the golden
Exactly.
ticket.
It's like every loot box ever.
I love the people that try to troll EA and they'll like send them emails and they'll be like, in order to unlock the rest of the email, cost $4.99.
Oh my gosh. They really originated they didn't originate, but they really perfected the annoying pay to play type video game.
Microtransactions, the thing that ruined video games.
It's true. There's so many great video games. Like the PS2 had so many great video games, and not a single one of them has a microtransaction in it.
Microtransactions aren't necessary to make
No.
a good game.
They're necessary to make a profitable business.
Especially when already like games are so expensive.
Right.
It's ridiculous. Like Switch games, it's $60 and the game is like, well, if you get it not online, it's like
Right.
this big. Like it's not even a disc or anything.
Yeah, and like normal video game prices have gone up now. So if you want to get a new video game, it's $70 now instead of $60.
Really? I didn't even know that. That's
for
insane.
regular video games, not Switch games.
Yeah, no, PS5, I think 70's becoming the new norm.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Actually, a fun fact and a good tip for people looking to buy Nintendo Switch games. Walmart, because the Nintendo Switch is a handheld console and because of their store policies, Walmart is not allowed to sell a Nintendo Switch game for more than $50.
Ooh.
So any new Switch game, go to Walmart to get it because it will be $10 cheaper.
Deals with
So
Derrick.
this is my question. So I think it might still be a thing. I know there was a thing with Switch where if you bought like some sort of $100 card, you got 2 free licenses for any game in the store. So you could save $10 that way.
Huh.
I think
think-
that might still be a thing.
That's
I know
probably
when-
a thing.
I know when it first came out, it was
Yeah.
definitely a thing, but I don't have a Switch.
Maybe it was like a opening weekend type deal because I remember hearing about that. That's
Yeah.
definitely not something that I'm hearing for the first time. What was your favorite PS2 game, James?
My favorite PS2 game. So I never really played PS2, but that generation, probably my favorite game was like, I was really into GameCube games back in the day. So
Mhm.
like Super Mario Sunshine,
Oh,
Double Dash, you know.
They
I
need to
think
make a Double Dash, but for the Switch. I need a revamp of Double Dash. Like
Yeah. Like
yesterday.
remastered.
Double Dash is legit like one of the best Mario Kart games.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Like-
agreed.
Like if not the best.
I think the day that disc got scratched, I just fell into a depression that I haven't gotten out of yet.
I would feel the exact same way.
See, that's why now in my older years, now that I have a job and make money, I've been like buying video games from my childhood again. Like I just recently, and it came in yesterday, got SmackDown versus Raw 2006 for the PS2.
Awesome.
Because I also have a PS2 now, which is very exciting. So I'm really looking forward to just diving right back into
Shout
that.
out to my brother Kyle. He was getting rid of it, and I was like, yoink. Well, he first asked me, he was like, do you want it? I was like, I don't know if I'd play it all the time. And then I texted Derrick. I was like, you want it? And Derrick's like, yeah.
Yes.
And came with like my brother had a bunch of he had I think 3 Ratchet and Clanks, Jack and Dexter, Kingdom of Hearts 2,
Destroy All Humans.
Destroy All Humans.
Yeah.
Sly Cooper. I think the second one. Not the it's the second one. Yeah.
God, I can't wait to play Destroy
Oh,
All
and
Humans
The
again.
Simpsons Hit and Run, which is just a fun game to mess around with.
Yes, I've seen Simpsons Hit and Run. I think that one had really good graphics for its time. I remember when that one came out, everyone was like, it looks so clear.
From what I can remember, yeah, because that was a game that I used to just mess around on.
Well, I love how all the 90s kids are making the memes, man, how can they make the graphics any more realistic? And it's 64.
It's like Mario grabbing Bowser's tail. So realistic.
Oh, yeah. The sports games from that period. Oh, it's like we're still in polygons,
Yeah.
Like the dude's arm is just a triangle. Passes.
And there's some the worst balanced sports games too.
Oh,
Isn't
yeah.
there one of the what's the sports game for the NES where it's like if you choose Bo Jackson, you just win?
Tecmo Bowl.
Tecmo Bowl. Yeah, you straight up just choose Bo Jackson and you win because they just made him better than everyone else.
Yeah. There's also a basketball game that was made for either the NES or the SNES. And I think if you just go in the corner and shoot a 3, it goes in every time.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen the clips of this game.
They do it in Family Guy where Peter just goes down the court and just goes, corner 3.
Oh, I actually think that's also where I found out about the game with Bo Jackson is Family Guy and Peter playing Bo Jackson.
Can't catch me.
That show is so weird.
I have a love-hate relationship with it,
Yeah. It's it's a weird sense of humor.
I only associate Family Guy with hanging out with the boys at college with it just in the background, like that, American Dad, and the Cleveland Show.
Right.
Because those are the only 3 things that were background noise at all times. But then when you tune in, especially like the older episodes at least kind of make sense. But the ones now are just weird. Whack.
I think
they ran out of ideas and it's just not funny anymore.
Yeah. I almost feel bad when I watch it because I'm like, this is probably not stuff I should be laughing at. But it's funny. Yeah, they did run out of ideas. And Seth stopped caring. That's the big one. Seth MacFarlane, and he's come out to say that he stopped caring.
I mean, understandably so how long has the show been on air? He's probably I just want something new. I can't keep sticking with this same sort of thing.
I'm sure he probably just does most of the voices from his house and does them in 10 minutes and then lives with his family or whatever he actually does now.
Well, do you remember when they tried to kill off Brian?
And the backlash they got from that.
That was basically Seth trying to write himself off of the show. Because that was the character whose voice and character he felt was closest to him. So he wanted to kill off Brian and then slowly I guess back away or maybe just be a voice.
Yeah.
But it was him actually trying to step away and the fans no, that's not happening.
I didn't realize that's how powerful that was when it happened.
That was crazy. That was such crazy that was a actual TV show moment in the middle of a series that has a real story going. But it happened on Family Guy.
Now, I will say I loved Family Guy up until I started watching South Park because I know South Park's a little bit more controversial and they have a lot more social commentary, but they totally like blew Family Guy and the way they write things just out of the water because they had an episode about Family Guy, like a two-part episode where they
Mhm.
just went in
Yeah.
and the idea they came up with was that Family Guy's writing staff is just a bunch of manatees,
Yeah, I remember
and,
that.
and they're like, we have joke balls. They're like they push a random part of a joke from one side to the other, and they just plug them in, and it'll make it work. And I think the one they did that was great was just Peter Griffin. You think that's bad? Remember when I had to sing La Cucaracha with Paul McCartney?
See, that
Just
sounds
by
like a
doing
Family Guy joke.
That yeah, and then it would cut to it.
Right.
yeah.
What do you think it would be like to live in that world and be friends with Peter?
I mean, that's pretty much Rhode Island.
Yeah, but like specifically, like imagine hanging out with your friend, right? And your friend goes, "That reminds me of that time when I did this," and then everyone just stops for like 15 seconds, and you're like, what are you doing anything? What? And you, no, nothing at all.
And then sometimes the cutaways go on for too long and the characters become confused and then you become confused watching it because you don't know what's supposed to be happening.
I hated the really long bits when they had the bits that would last really long, like the bits that were very clearly there to pad an episode, like the Peter holding his knee bit,
Yeah.
or the ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Conway Twitty, because that would eat up like 10 minutes of an episode.
I'm remembering the one where Stewie went on steroids and he's blocking Brian from going down the stairs.
Yep, I remember that episode. That episode's great.
Patriot Games, one of the best episodes.
Oh, Patriot Games. Is that the one where Gronk moves in? Or is that a different Patriots related episode?
That's a different Patriots related episode. Patriot Games is the one where Peter goes to his high school reunion as a cowboy astronaut millionaire.
Right. Yep.
And he goes, and one of his classmates is like, "Hey, look, he's a fake. His hat comes right off."
That's
Yeah, this guy's a fake.
the
And
one.
and he meets Tom Brady at the
Right.
high school reunion and gets on the Patriots.
That I was gonna say that's the episode where Peter joins the Patriots.
Yeah, and then he celebrates too much and they expel him to I think it was the London Silly Nannies he had played.
Yes. The
And,
rugby team.
and they're all like twirling ribbons around the pole singing If You Marry Me.
Yeah, such a
I,
good show. It's not good anymore, but it was pretty good back in the day.
yeah, I think I had a like, oh God, this is bad show. I think I was like probably 15. Like I was still in high school and I wanted to watch one of the new episodes. And man, I maybe chuckled once. And I was
Right.
just like, wow, show's falling off.
It's a
And
show.
it's like trying to be a little bit too serious now, you know?
I think the opposite. I think it's not being as much social. I think Family Guy and South Park have flipped, where South Park started as a show with not a ton of like social commentary, but just a bunch of like jokes for the sake of being risque, and then
Yeah.
Family Guy was more like social commentary. But then they switched, so now Family Guy is kind of just like jokes to make jokes, and South Park is like super social commentary. Like,
Oh yeah, exactly. And my favorite thing about South Park is I think they really try to make fun of everyone equally, you know? They
yes,
try to do it. They might not execute that as
right.
well, but they at least try to get around to everyone like when they made the episode on Scientology, one of the guys quit because he was a Scientologist, and they released a statement like, "Okay, so we've made fun of Jews, Muslims, all these groups, but when we get to your group, you think that's when you need to quit." Okay, sure.
Right. Also, Scientology is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, and, and they explain like what Scientologists believe, and then put in big white print, this is what Scientologists actually believe. Like the whole
Yeah,
time they're explaining it. It's great.
it's it's crazy.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, man. It's crazy how much you realize how like there's more than one religion specific episode of South Park out there. Like that seems to be one they enjoy.
I just remember the one where they created world peace and they took I think it was like the Christian cross, the Muslim like moon symbol,
Right.
and the Jewish star, and they like did an animation and they like mixed them all around, and then it formed the Van Halen logo. Shout out to Van Halen.
That honestly just seems like such a Van Halen thing to do.
Just perform it like the world peace ceremony.
Oh my gosh. I mean, isn't that basically Woodstock, though? The World Peace Ceremony?
Yeah, a time for peace and love.
Yeah. Although Jimi Hendrix pissed a lot of people off there.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. I remember like hearing about that for the first time, and I was like, wait, so a good guitarist played a good guitar version of the national anthem and people got pissed?
And you know, I watched so I actually went and I observed a teacher, and she was showing them a video about Woodstock, and the video pointed out that during the time the mainstream media really tried to paint it as this evil thing, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And it's
Yeah.
just funny because the way we look at it now is it's such a, historical event that represented like the counterculture movement, and was really beneficial to a lot of young people at the time. But I can imagine, the way like Walter Cronkite is sitting behind a desk trying to, write this narrative that they're
Right.
all these evil, college kids trying to have fun and escape a little bit of reality for 3 days. Like, how dare they?
He's trying to figure out the best way to say it in his stupid fake like what's that fake accent that TV actors used to use? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh
Like
yeah.
like when you think of an old-timey 50s person like, "Oh, there, see?" Like that kind of accent. Like, like Walter Cronkite talks.
I was gonna say, I just think of it as like old timey, but there's definitely a specific word for it. I know what you mean.
Yeah. There's an exact specific word for it. And it was like it's funny because it was just made up. Like that wasn't an actual way people talked.
I never thought about that until just now.
Yeah, that old time
That's
that
weird.
it's
Yeah.
it's completely made up. Like it's totally fake. They just did that to sound cool.
Yeah.
They were trying to sound more like professional and like adults. But because you know how like when you become an adult, you realize that adults are just really good at pretending like they know what they're doing.
Mm.
It's exactly that. But like how they were trying to be like actors about it, I guess.
Everyone
Derrick,
in Hollywood is just two kids in a trench coat.
so that reminds me, you might even know the name of this guy, but it just reminds me there's that one like YouTuber that reports on WWE stuff, but he like goes out of his way to like misenunciate everything.
Oh, that's a joke for several people. Are you talking about the Brainbuster boys, our good friends from Kentucky? Because they do that frequently.
No, it's like one guy that reports on news, but his cadence is just so unnatural. It's like, Brock Lesnar goes to WWE.
I'm trying to figure out who you're talking about. Because, like, legit, all I could think of are the ones that I watch, and it's definitely none of those.
All right, I will find it and I will send it, because I can't get over how he pronounces stuff, and you can tell he's going out of his way to do it, because everyone in the comments is like, "What's wrong with this guy?" And they're all like, "He's just trying to sound like a reporter."
He's just trying his best. Give him some slack.
He wants to sound good. I love the like mispronouncing names as a joke though. Like it's almost a lazy, but it works. So like that's fine.
What I've been doing at me and some of my coworkers, we've been reversing, like taking the first letter of your last name and like switching it with the first letter of your first name.
Spoonerizing it.
What?
Spoonerizing it. That's what they're called, the spoonerisms.
Oh, okay, but we do that and like just come up with really funny combinations.
I had someone I was friends with in high school who was legit obsessed with spoonerisms. Like, not like obsessed, like, oh, it's a spoonerism, but like would do it constantly and then like would tell everyone, like, describe what spoonerisms are, like, and use the name.
I learned something new today. I've never heard that word in my entire life.
That kid went to, oh, nope, not Yale. What's the
course.
What's the pretentious college in New York City? Columbia. He went to Columbia.
I was gonna say, of course, that kid went to an Ivy League.
So my music department at my high school, I don't actually hate any of them, but I hate all of them. Because literally all of the like top of the class was in the music department, and they all went to like basically flashy schools. Like there's, I know one person who goes to Yale. I know someone who goes to Columbia. I know someone who goes to Dartmouth. I know, like, I probably know someone at each Ivy League, which is fun because I go to the school that I go to.
I feel like there's definitely like, because like at my high school, it was usually one of the people like at least in like the top like 10, or at least, you know, like even like Val and Sal like were always like performing arts kids.
Yeah, our valedictorian was,
which is insane. I mean, there's definitely like studies on it, because like in order to do music, you gotta be smart. And it just like, I don't know, so many studies on it, but that's just like weird.
Our valedictorian was in all the singing groups. She went to Brown.
My high school was not that smart. I don't think anyone went to an Ivy League school from my graduating class.
The salutatorian of my class went to Harvard.
Yeah,
but the valedictorian went to Bentley, which is hilarious to me.
Yeah,
because I'm like, really, boy, you going to Bentley and the salutatorian's going to Harvard? Okay.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
So my valedictorian, I couldn't stand the kid, because all throughout high school I had to hear about how good he was, because he did like everything I did. So like if I was in a band group, he was there. If I was in a singing group, he was there. And then he did tennis too. So it was all, oh, he does these things you do better than you, and he's athletic. Why can't you be this, James? You know? And it wasn't from my parents, but that's always, you know, just the vibe I got when I was in high school. And, you know, when I got to college, everyone asked me what my favorite thing was about the first semester. And I said, you know what my favorite thing was? Not having to hear about the valedictorian and how good he was. Now at least I can escape that and just be me without having to worry about like who's, you know, above or better than me. And this kid, he went to Xavier. So at the graduation rehearsal, he wore this giant, like foot tall X on the top of his cap. And at the end, you just saw the principal go up to him. And then when graduation came, he was not wearing the big X on the top of the cap.
Yeah, for a valedictorian, that was a pretty stupid move, huh?
Yeah, I think there was definitely like, hey, no more than 6 inches or don't have anything that sticks up, you know?
Right.
Yeah, not fair to literally everyone else graduating.
Especially the person like sitting behind you, they can't see anything.
I don't remember anything of my high school graduation, because we were like the first in like 5 classes to have it inside, and our gym was not air conditioned, and it was in June, of course. And my last name begins with M, so I didn't see anything because, well, I'm in the middle, and you guys both know I'm not tall. So
and no offense, your eyesight probably isn't the best,
No,
compared to
it's not. Even though I wear glasses, it's terrible. It's terrible. So that's okay. It's not something to be completely remembered anyways. I just remember my valedictorian mentioned something about Crocs, and well, I sang like the national anthem with like seniors. We had like all seniors sing it, so that
Yeah.
was cool. That's really kind of all, you know.
My graduation, me and one of the assistant principals did a bit during graduation.
Oh, that's fun.
It wasn't like a scheduled skit. It was like when I went up to like get my diploma and shake everyone's hand. Instead of shaking her hand, we went and freeze framed like right before we high-fived each other.
We couldn't do long bits because I graduated with about 400 people. So yeah.
Yeah. So my graduating class was like 150, but the problem was my junior year, pretty much the entire administration changed over. So the people that you grew close with just weren't the ones giving you your diploma.
Oh, that stinks.
And they picked like the worst guy to give out the diploma. It was the principal, but no one liked him. He was an interim principal.
Gotcha. The people who sorry.
No, you got so people just kind of go up and take the photo, but it wasn't the memory they were picturing when they entered high school,
My high school graduation, for like actually handing the diplomas, it's always the principal and then someone on the school board. But actually, it's usually a specific person on the school board who was for a long time the person who ran the Boys and Girls Club where I went to, so like he handed me my diploma, and that felt really like powerful.
I couldn't tell you who handed me my diploma. I just remember the person who read off the names because her voice is like nails on a chalkboard.
Oh,
but no, what's even more fun?
What?
Have you ever sat through a college graduation?
Thankfully not yet.
I had to for my sister, and she graduated with social work. So of course they go by alphabetical.
By major.
So she was last, and I don't know why in May it was like 50 degrees out, but it was because it's New England. And we're just like outside waiting, and I'm like, why? Like, there's no point. Like, it's not like she like commuted. She wasn't like, she did dab when she got her degree. She dabbed, and I have a video of that.
Bad for all the ZZ Top majors out there,
No one's there to applaud them because everyone else, dipped.
Yeah. I am hoping that since one of my two majors starts with E, that I don't actually have to stay the whole time when I graduate, and I can just dip after my first major.
You'll be able to dip, like you'll be able to choose and then dip. I hope so for your sake.
Yeah. If I get to choose, I'm choosing EGST. Sorry, James, I'm leaving the music department behind.
I feel like James get out of there an hour early. Name, so
yeah. I was gonna say, Derrick, go save the table for us. Like we'll be there in an hour.
Yeah.
Oh man, God, graduation. That's. I still don't want to think about school, but I have.
I haven't for 2 years. I'm still going strong.
Gosh, when I get to school, I'm hoping honestly that my room is is set up in a good way to where it looks good on camera. Because like
I keep forgetting about what dorm you're placed in.
Yep.
The dreaded CH, if you will.
Whenever you go onto the campus, and there's one building that looks pretty nice, and it has a really nice outside. And then one person like you don't even know will come up to you and will go, "Never step foot in that building."
And then you step foot, and then you realize it's a complete sewage system. And
So
and then you're just gonna have to deal with people being like, "Don't step in the circles, you're gonna get pregnant."
Yeah, and that's ridiculous. I've stepped in the circle many times, and I haven't even gotten close to getting pregnant yet.
Me neither. Yeah.
Good. Same. I'm glad we have all
avoided
we have debunked the theory, the myth,
The myth of the
if
circle.
you will. I remember when I was a tour guide, I'd like to walk. I would literally walk through it.
Ha, that's funny.
I mean, they don't know about it. They're not students there yet.
Well, my favorite thing about that school was I remember going on the tour. So I went on the tour. I almost took it out of consideration until I saw where the music majors spend most of their day, because most of just the regular academic buildings look like they're from some sort of 50s elementary school.
Yep.
And like it's all brick and the walls seem like they're about to fall off at any minute. And I'm just like, am I really going to pay X amount of dollars a semester for this? And I went on this really gloomy day. So, of course, that didn't help the campus environment one bit. And then I finally got to the music building and I was like, oh, so this is why people come here.
You're lucky that that tour did that, because usually, at least when I was a tour guide, we would only go to like the music department on an open house, I think, or it was like a specialty type tour, because like on a regular daily tour we would like never go over there, or like it would just like would depend.
Right.
Oh,
Inside facts from an ex tour guide from university we've gone
you will
to.
get a kick out of this. So that actually, the like campus tour didn't
Mhm.
go over the music building. We
Yep.
scheduled a thing with the department head.
Gotcha.
So he sent like his top student, we all know, and
I know exactly what you're
Yep.
talking about.
so he sent her, and a certain saxophone professor was supposed to come
Oh.
and meet us there. And I'm a prospective student, so I don't know anything about this guy yet. He no-showed.
Of course he did.
That
Why
was
wouldn't
my
he?
favorite thing.
Very
Now,
on brand.
I know now. It is so fitting.
Very on brand. That's hilarious.
Oh, it was great. And then we emailed the department head about it, and he just had to cover for him and be like, yeah, I don't know what happened. He should have been there. I will, talk with him about this or something.
That's hilarious.
So he basically did what's been like probably 50% of his job since he became department chair.
But to be honest, his top student probably did a much better job showing us around than the professor would have.
Also, it's better to have the student perspective anyways.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well,
Being
they
like,
have no incentive to lie to you and prop up the school.
technically we had to spin it in a positive way. My favorite thing was when people would ask about the cell service, and I would say, well, if you keep driving past, you're gonna hit a lot of rural, area.
Right.
So that's why the cell service isn't the best. That's true. I can't make that up.
Yeah.
I'm like, but we have Wi-Fi, but didn't go into that,
Right.
Yeah, I was good. The most frustrating thing being on campus this year was just trying to use my phone from going from one building to the next, and in that like minute of me using my phone, I had to decline 3 or 4 times the university Wi-Fi. Like, oh, you want to use the Wi-Fi? No, I don't. Oh no, you want to use this Wi-Fi? No, I don't. I'm all set. Are you sure you don't want to use our
Are you sure
homegrown
about
Wi-Fi?
And like the Wi-Fi's not good.
No, there's a
I can
reason
only
I go with
imagine
cell
how
service.
terrible I love how we have just turned into literally shitting on school, but like
Welcome to the
can't-
pWoCast.
no, but like no, literally, like I can only imagine how terrible it was with everyone doing remote learning and everyone having to theoretically be on their computers for class times. I can literally only imagine how terrible that was.
My favorite thing to try to imagine is what a full 60-person chorus Zoom was like, all virtual, only one day a week for 2.5 hours.
Oh, that sounds rough.
hell.
I couldn't do it.
That's a punishment. That's not a class.
Now, let me ask you, when you were in your Zoom classes, did you like it when nobody turned their camera on, or did you prefer it when more people had their camera on as a student?
For me personally, I prefer it when no one has it on because I don't care either way. So if everyone doesn't have theirs on, it makes it easier for me to not have mine on.
Right.
And then I can just go on with what I'd be doing if I wasn't in class.
I always felt some sort of like pressure about my camera. I always felt like if I didn't have my camera on, that would negatively impact my learning somehow.
Yeah, well, also a lot of teachers like made it a rule, like you had to
Right.
have your camera on. I remember I had one class in the fall, and the teacher said if you so one kid was very obviously to every student, very obviously zooming in from his cell phone.
Right.
And so he was in his room or whatever, but I guess his laptop was down that day. So he was zooming in from his phone, and the phone shut off and went into rest mode because he hadn't touched the screen in 60 seconds. And the
Oh, yeah.
teacher calls him out, and she's like, if you do not put your camera on, I will have to mark you absent and send you out of this Zoom. And
Okay.
every single student just rolled their eyes. It's like, come on. Like, his
Cause,
phone just shut off 5 seconds ago. Give the kid a break.
yeah, and it's baloney because like the kid was already on camera.
Also,
Exactly. You
even
know
if
he's
his
there.
phone didn't shut off, you don't know what just happened in that moment.
Right.
Like, maybe an emergency happened.
Right.
Like, I get, like, I can understand from, like, teacher and student perspective, because literally when I'm not a camp counselor right now, I was working with students who were doing hybrid learning, and me being, like, almost a teacher's assistant, trying to get them to focus on their meets, and then also like them just like not, I wouldn't want to either, like like if I were a student, like I would feel pressured to, but if it was like a gen ed class, I don't care about it, I'm not gonna have my camera on. But if it was like a class that I like care about my major, and I know the rest of the people in my class and I'm like buds with them, like I'm gonna want to like see their faces and like chill, like,
Exactly.
make it more enjoyable.
Yeah. Like those Zooms are worlds away from what guitar ensemble with the guitar teacher Zooms were like. Those
I
were
literally, when Corona hit, and then just like thinking about how like big chorus would happen, I like literally was like, what?
I was like, hey, I don't have to deal with that. I already dropped this
Oh
class.
no! Oh wait,
You-
Dr. Barber was
you-
redacted.
It's all right.
Yeah,
We got the bleep
but
noise.
very nice choir director at that school was on sabbatical.
Former Price is Right contestant was on
Yes,
sabbatical.
yes. Former Price is Right finalist
That's right.
made it to final showcase.
Yeah.
Wow, that's right.
Insanity to me still, and the fact that
Yeah.
final showcase was like a music package, even more insane. Anyways, but like I forgot that she wasn't the professor, and it was other dude and all of that. Still weird.
Oh man, that dude. I still remember looking over in chorus and watching James on his phone drop the class.
You told me about you literally told me about that, and that made me laugh so hard. Like as he was talking and you just glanced over James just like,
So
all
funny.
right, drop in this class.
So funny.
As he's going over the syllabus, I'm just sitting here like, no.
You're like, this ain't for me, Chief. Sorry.
The second I left that class, I think I just looked at someone and I was like, well, that was my last class. I just dropped it.
Yeah, it was me.
I was gonna say, not like you probably needed it anyways, because
I
you
just
only
went to WinSynth.
yeah.
Right.
I'm
I
a
mean-
percussionist there.
Yeah. You got to sing in jazz fusion. What else do you need?
Yeah, I was gonna say I can hit a drum sometimes on time.
That's all you need to be a percussionist, right?
Exactly.
Do this slap, slap, slap.
Clap, clap, clap. Slap, slap, slap. Clap, clap, clap.
Our King Bulby from Jimmy Neutron.
We stan Bulby.
We stan Bulby.
If you also stan Bulby, throw it in the comments down below.
Bulby was great. See, my memories of Jimmy Neutron are so cluttered. Like, I can't remember a full episode, but I could name 10 moments from 10 different episodes.
I only remember, like, I can concretely remember the episode where they, like, spoof Survivor.
I don't even remember that episode.
No.
But then also you have the sodium chloride moment.
Yep.
Yes.
Sodium chloride, it's salt.
Don't forget to say Big McThankies from McSpankies. God
Do
damn
you
it.
remember the one where, like, the pants came alive?
Yes.
And took over the town?
Yep.
I remember that one. I remember Sheen grew a big brain one
I
time.
was about to mention that one. Yep.
Big brain.
Big brain Sheen. God, if there was a character any less deserving of a spin-off show than Sheen. Oh.
Honestly, it might be Patrick.
I don't even want to think about watching that show. I can't.
I think it tarnishes the legacy to create a spin-off show.
I can't in good conscience. Because Steven Hillenburg was like very adamant about not wanting any spin-offs to SpongeBob. And they like didn't wait at all to start working on them.
Yeah, and it's like, what's the market for it? Because we've grown up, and,
Right.
and as bad as the new iCarly reboot is, at least they tried.
I have to disagree with you. I
It's
love
not-
the new iCarly
it's-
reboot.
I'm watching it solely for Jerry Trainer.
Yes.
He is amazing. But it's just interesting because it's like they're really on brand with like social stuff right now. I think one of my favorite jokes was the pandemic joke that they made. I think it was I forgot the character's name, but it's the Freddy's like daughter.
Millicent.
Yeah, Millicent. She makes it, I think, and that was fun.
Yeah.
But Jerry Trainer, that man, is a
so,
king, and I'm so glad to be watching him just do his thing again and just literally act as himself, because that is probably him in real life. And if not, he's an amazing actor.
Full disclaimer, I haven't seen 1 second of the reboot, so I probably shouldn't be coming out saying that I hate it.
No, yeah,
Gotcha.
you have to
should
watch an episode.
It's basically everyone from iCarly except for Sam using iCarly as an excuse to run away from their life problems.
Yeah.
Freddie being a single dad, Carly being super depressed. Like weirdly depressed for a former Nickelodeon show character.
Yes, but I agree. Jerry Trainer is the star of that show. I would argue he was the star of any scene he was in as Crazy Steve in Drake and Josh.
Yeah,
he did steal the show. He really did. As much as Drake and Josh was a fantastic show,
yes.
Which is weird to talk about now because of what Drake Bell did. It's really weird because at staff training we did like a big, those like big like not, it's like a bingo sheet, but it's all like, if you have gone skydiving or whatever, that's usually not one of them, but it's like stupid stuff like that. One of them was like, if you can sing the Drake and Josh theme song, and we all would like stand up if like you could, and only like 15 of us stood up out of 70, and that made me feel old. And I then immediately said, I stood up and said, but I don't like Drake Bell, and then sat down.
And like, Josh Peck is better, but it doesn't cancel out.
Right. Well, the difference is Josh Peck hasn't done anything like so
Illegal.
Terrible that he gets sentenced in court.
Yeah.
Just associates himself with
Interesting people. He associates himself with problematic people.
Yeah.
Like David Dobrik.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
I don't like the people he hangs with, that's for sure.
No. Drake Bell went live like immediately after his court hearing where he was found guilty.
Great.
Like from the same exact room and anything. He like legit pressed the off button on court and the on button on Instagram.
Can you imagine if he tried to make it like one of the Drake and Josh openings? Like if it was just him like sitting on the steps of the courtroom with a guitar. It's like,
And then
you know,
just Josh with his like, I don't know, either with his children or just like doing
Right.
something stupid with David Dobrik.
yep.
And then like them doing a back and forth. Strums the guitar. So I got caught guilty
Child endangerment.
for child endangerment.
And I
Josh
can already,
cuts to him playing with his baby. Oh, you good boy.
I'm just picturing Josh getting really worked up and going, guilty! You know,
Now
I'm like, who's a good baby? Yeah, Drake, not allowed to be near my children. He's guilty. Guilty. And that's what it would be.
How much do you want to bet Josh's character's child would have like an Oprah stuffed animal?
oh my gosh.
No, Oprah like blanket.
Oh yeah.
Like an Oprah baby blanket. If that's
Like
I mean, it's kind of weird, but like that's exactly what it would be. Like he swaddled the baby in this Oprah like special edition blanket.
right.
Like something really niche. be
Now,
weird.
here's my question. Would Josh's kid just be sitting in front of the TV addicted to all the Oprah Winfrey Network shows?
I think Josh's kid would like Ellen instead out of defiance.
Ugh, disgusting.
Stranger danger.
Gosh, if I ever wanted to work somewhere where my boss hated me and didn't pay me enough and threw coffee in my face, I'd love to work for Ellen.
Well, see, I'm kind of curious on your guys' perspectives on Ellen, because for a while she was seen as like, if I'm saying the wrong thing, let me know. But for a while, I think she was seen as like this pioneer and like a hero for the gay community for like coming out and doing it on a national stage. And then we find out she's a bitch.
Yeah. So it's like, it is wildly important that there's more LGBTQIA plus representation on TV. But my God, is Ellen not the person to do that? Because she's just the worst.
It's exactly like Caitlyn Jenner.
It's yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Like
Very that.
Caitlyn Jenner is very problematic. It's great that there's like a public
Right.
trans woman out there, but
Right.
not
She sucks.
not a great person at all. Like, but and also it's just like new people have come into the woodworks to be better representation than Ellen.
Right.
But you can't argue that she was
Right.
a pioneer, but she's not a good person, especially like
Right.
she hasn't evolved herself. It'd be different if she was evolving with her thoughts and ideas, but she's like still when she came out, you
Right.
know?
And I feel like an important distinction is that I feel like not as much LGBTQIA people identified with Ellen. You know what I mean? Like a lot of them didn't really like, they're like, oh, Ellen's gay, but they weren't like, this is Ellen, our gay hero. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's
It's more like, oh, Ellen's gay, but that doesn't mean I have to like her.
It's like the suburban mom audience. It's like, oh my God, and she's gay and no one even cares. It's great.
no, you're so correct. That is
I think it's a lot of people that are a fan of Ellen and they want to say that they're like doing something for the community by watching Ellen and supporting Ellen.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
it is
Like,
exactly. It's
no.
like I'm not homophobic. I watch Ellen every day.
And you know, if Ellen got canceled, they'd just turn on Wendy Williams and call it a day.
Oh, now that just makes me think of the Wendy Williams on The Masked Singer.
Oh gosh,
Oh,
she's also not a good person at all.
no, I
Who
cannot
is a
stand
good
Wendy
person
Williams.
who like hosts like a daytime talk show?
Oh, that's a great question.
That's a great
N-
yeah.
Not Ellen,
I
not Wendy
think-
Williams.
I know when she first came up, Kelly Clarkson was a good person. I don't know about after 20 years of fame, but I know when she first came into the business, people were like, she's still not like painted.
I like
Yeah.
Kelly Clarkson.
I
I
like
don't
Kelly
think
Clarkson.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything like really terrible she done. Like
She's probably the best one out of all of them.
I forgot
Yeah.
that she even hosts.
Yeah.
I know that I think she's still a judge on The Voice. Those judges change all the time. I
They
think
used to be
Blake
so
Shelton's the only
controversial.
still like OG.
Hmm?
Is he still even on it? Blake Shelton? I don't know.
I think Blake Shelton's still on it, and Adam Levine just left like a
Yeah, I
year
know
or
Adam
two
Levine
ago.
left.
Was Blake Shelton actually famous before The Voice?
I don't know. I don't.
Like I only heard about him once The Voice came out, and then would always hear about him when people talked about country afterwards.
Yeah, I think he was like a middle of the road star, but he wasn't, the
Well,
biggest person in country music.
also an OG voice judge was CeeLo Green, and you only knew like one or two songs by him. So
Yeah.
like if you think about it that way, and then it was Christina Aguilera, like you know who Christina Aguilera is, and then Adam Levine.
Yeah.
So you kind of had like two like middle of the road, and then two like
Yeah.
really, really well known. But I think the goal of the voice judges was to represent like a good portion amount of like top
Right.
40 or like top 100 hits of like the like R&B and funk with CeeLo Green, and
Yeah.
then like pop diva with Christina Aguilera, and then country, and
Yeah.
then Adam
Maroon
Levine,
5.
whatever.
Whatever Maroon 5 is.
As my brother would say, which is a quote I stand by to this day, which is old Maroon 5, like songs about Jane album Maroon
Mhm.
5. Bitches love Maroon 5.
Yes.
Especially old Maroon 5.
Yes.
That album is fantastic.
Well, the
First
thing.
two albums, spot on.
Well,
Old Maroon 5 is amazing.
the thing about CeeLo Green, you mentioned like he has like two popular songs, but those songs were like wicked popular.
No, they were
like Crazy and Forget You are legit two of the like most iconic songs from the 2000s.
Yeah, no, that is really true. You can't name like a hit before The Voice that like Blake Shelton, but also like it's hard because like I'm not a avid country listener.
Right.
I did go through a country phase. I don't talk about it a lot.
Yeehaw.
You go through those phases, but or like I know some country songs because my family listens to country. Like whenever I go to a family gathering, country is playing, but it's like the same like songs.
Well,
all sounds the same.
Every country song is the same songs.
Yeah, just insert word here. It's like beer, girl, truck. That's a country song.
It's
sunshine and outdoors.
Country music is I have arguments with myself in my head about country music all the time because I feel like old country versus new country isn't really an accurate way to describe it.
No.
I feel it's more of country music to make music and country music to make money.
Yes. That's a perfect way to describe it.
And I hate country music to make money, but I love country music to make music.
Yes.
Because like just a acoustic guitar and someone singing about how sad they are is some of the like most raw music you can get.
I can get behind country, but I can only listen to it in the summertime. I don't know why. It's just a summertime vibe for me.
I will say when I was a kid, I hated country. I've always, it's never been like my genre. I lightened up to it near the end of high school, and now I'm to a point where I will listen to it if someone puts it on because it's one of the few genres now that still uses guitar. And I'm a guitar player, so I have to kind of
you legally have to listen to it now.
I legally have to enjoy anything with a guitar in it. It's in my contract.
It's true.
The university we go to. I just wanted to share a quick story about American Idol because we were talking about a certain band. So, my parents, like, they were watching the new American Idol. I don't care for it, but if you're into it, okay. And they said, oh, they're like, one week like Coldplay came on and like was a mentor for the contestants, and they like all did Coldplay covers, and my parents look at me. I know, and they look at me and they're like, "So who is Coldplay, James?" You're like what are they? And I thought about it for a minute, and then I looked at them and I said, "Well, I go think of Maroon 5."
It's
And I think
Maroon.
it's a perfect way to
They
describe them.
they do have like some good, like their older stuff. Like it's not great, but it's not terrible. Like Yellow and Fix You, good
Yeah,
songs. I would say those. Actually, no.
and everyone knows
The
these are Beatles.
Scientist, Yellow, and Fix You, I'm good with. And unashamedly, The Scientist, specifically the Glee cover, I'll say it, amazing. That is all. Is my opinion on I almost said on Maroon 5 on Coldplay.
See, I have an almost irrational hatred of Coldplay. Mostly just because of a high school experience where we sang Viva La Vida in an a cappella group.
Ooh, no.
And let me tell you, when that entire song is quite literally 4 notes repeated for 3 minutes, it is 4 notes repeated in the same rhythm for 3 minutes. I wanted to pull my hair out.
Yes, and it is funny how many songs you end up hating because of nothing to do with the song or the artist, but because of like your experience with it. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
nothing Coldplay did.
being an a cappella singer.
Oh.
I remember, oh my God, the many songs I did in my a cappella college group. All of them I can listen to like okay now, but there's some songs that I'm like, wow, I don't think I can ever listen to this song again. Or I like still remember my part for it, which is insane. Or then I'm like, wow, this was literally only 2 notes the entire time, but like different rhythms.
Wow.
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 Yeah,
That just made me think of Life is a Highway by Rascal Flatts.
Oh.
it's kind of funny, you know, for me, like I can remember like being in rehearsal and maybe a couple of the songs, but a lot of the songs I think I just kind of put in this part of my mind that was like, I don't want to think about you anymore. Like, I don't even want to remember we did this. Like there's a bunch of songs like that. Like I'm sure if I watched a performance, it would come back and I would, you know, get all these memories flooding back from high school. Um, but yeah, there were definitely a lot of songs I just couldn't vibe with after we did them because of the memories you associate with them.
It's like when you're in a musical and then you like can't listen to that musical for a bit. Yeah, like
That was Footloose
yeah,
for me.
that's a good one not to listen to.
Yeah.
I like a couple of the songs, but some of the memories. See, when I think about Footloose, I don't think about the movie. I think about all the politics from the drama department at my high school. So I can't enjoy Footloose because all the memories come back, and I'm just like, no, no, no.
Yeah.
Well, we've crossed an hour mark for the first time in pWoCast recording history, so I think it is a great place to call it for an episode. Again, thank you, Joel, for appearing on this episode of the pWoCast.
Thank you. I wouldn't want to drive 2 hours to do anything else.
Yes. You can
Yeah.
find all of our things in the place. We'll see you next time.